the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today, we have a very special guest from the Nevada Equal Rights Commission, Kara Jenkins. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. I've seen all your other podcasts, and I feel very honored to be on this podcast series with you to talk about the Equal Rights Commission and a little bit about myself.
We're honored to have you. I know we've worked together in the past, and we've been talking about this for a while now. We finally got our schedules to align.
The stars aligned, and here we are, my friend.
Awesome. Well, first, for our listeners and our viewers, I get to know about you because I get to have, coffee, lunches with you. But there's a lot of people that don't know you. So tell us where you were born, you grew up, where you went to college, your first job, and also how did you end up at NERC?
Thank you. Well, first of all, again, thank you for having me. I am from originally California, but I've been in Vegas for over 11 years. I've been with the state of Nevada for over 10 years. NERC about 10 years. And what brought me out here was after I graduated law school, I decided not to practice law. I actually got into politics in a sense. I was a campaign staffer for then Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was a ride. It was really crazy. I learned so much. It was very fast paced, but I was the outreach coordinator for the African American outreach component of the campaign. And I also handled stickers. Stickers are very important.
Yes.
And so after that, and he won his reelection, I was able to be hired as a lawyer for his administration. And so I was a deputy legal secretary. That was what they called it. And I realized again that even though I had done law clinic in the law school and I had done work at the AG's office in California and LA, and was doing a really good job in that administration, I was more inclined to working with people, more hands-on, and finding like solvable solutions to common problems. And the law is great, but it's very layered and it's a lot of writing. And it just, to my parents' dismay, it wasn't my jam. And so I was able to transition into another opportunity within his administration where I did outreach. That just seems to be my jam, outreach and talking to people. And then after he termed out, I was kind of recruited to work with a company called Access to Healthcare Network. And we were tasked with, my job as a Southern Nevada director for Access to Healthcare Network was to try to find and establish not only an office and a team, but also find folks who were underinsured or not able to get insurance for healthcare for critical needs, having babies, wound care, treatment, comprehensive healthcare that was affordable, which is very important to me because I think if you live well, you can have a very, very good quality of life. So I did that. And then I was recruited by a very good friend of ours to interview for the ombudsman position for the state of Nevada under Governor Sandoval. And also I was recommended to run the Equal Rights Agency, which is NERC. And I got it. And you got to thank people along the way that have helped you and really have supported you because my trajectory is not normal. It's not. I thought by this age I would just be a lawyer, not just a lawyer. That's really important work, but I'd be practicing law somewhere, maybe married with kids. I have none of those, but here I am.
Yeah.
So I think that was all the questions.
Yes. Yeah. So NERC is your jam.
It's my jam.
Okay.
I have a great team of people around me. And so the Equal Rights Commission, or the Nevada Equal Rights Commission, known as NERC, has the state mandate of making sure that workplaces are harassment-free, very similar to the EEOC, who we partner with.
This is a federal agency.
Yes, it's a federal agency, yes. As well as ensuring discrimination-free spaces in housing and public accommodations like schools, casinos, buses, things like that. And I have a very talented team of about 18 folks who they're from all walks of life. We're a very truly diverse team, and I could not do the work without them. They are phenomenal. We recently just hired a management analyst so we can track data, compelling data for the state of Nevada to see certain stats like, what are women getting paid compared to men and what kind of charges are we seeing so we can help inform legislators, the governor, which this is a governor appointment too, so that's pretty cool.
Now, I know that NERC provides training at no cost to prevent workplace harassment.
Yes, we are free 99.
Yeah, and this can be sometimes you think about government training or workplace harassment training. I know that you have to work hard for it to be effective. Tell us about a little bit more about the training, how it happens, who does it happen with, where does it happen, and how do you make it effective?
Yeah, and you're so nice by saying effective, very politically correct and savvy. What you're really trying to say, and I understand this to be, is that most training in EEO is boring. Everybody has that routine harassment-free workplace video that they watch. Not so much with NERC. Yes, we take the guidance from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and what standing precedent says, that we protect people on the basis of protected status, which is your color, your race, your national origin, your sex, your gender identity. We take all that into consideration, but then when folks ask us for outreach or training, we really try to specify it to the need of the client or the employer or the HR professionals, because we don't want to just do a one fit. You can't do a one size fit only. You have to really just see what the needs are and then be that vehicle so that they don't offend, or that our businesses here can still thrive and know what the laws are so they can avoid getting a charge, because that's the other side of what we do. I have a whole team of investigators that will investigate charges that could lead to litigation if we don't settle at the state level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And again, the passion for this work obviously emanates from you. When I met you, I could tell you were very passionate about your work, which is great, right? Because they always say when you're young, your parents tell you, find something you love that doesn't
Right.
feel like a job. And with you, I always feel that you live and breathe your work. You care deeply about it. Another thing I know you're passionate about is diversity in the
Yes.
workplace. Tell us why.
Well, as a Black woman, diversity is super important. I was making a joke. We do implicit bias testing within the staff. It's a Harvard study, so we can kind of check our own blind spots about what we feel and how we approach spaces and how we see other people, just to inform ourselves. But I was making a joke with my team, Jaime, that gosh, I about check every box. I'm over 40. I'm a woman. I'm Black. This is very important to me because I can live and walk the experience. However, my lens is only limited to my experiences. It's not to say that we don't help other people who may not have the same experiences as myself. And so I think that it's really important to me because I want people to feel included, and I think that's part of the state mandate. So aside from my feelings about the importance of diversity, it is a state mandate, it is state law, it's in statute that everybody that comes to this state, that goes into a restaurant, or any child that goes to a public school here, or anyone who has a job or gets a job here, is subject to protections, and they should not be treated any differently because of who they are.
Yep, I agree. And so you've been in government, as we just heard, for a long time, not just in the state of Nevada, but the
Yes.
state of California. And I know the public sector sometimes, well, it has its very own unique things that are different than the private sector, pros
Yes.
and cons on both sides. But tell us about maybe some of the biggest lessons. Again, you don't get to be the head of NERC without having to go, as you said, climb the ladder, earn, go through the ropes. And so tell us about some of the biggest lessons you've learned in your career in the public sector.
Thank you. This is an amazing question, and I will speak to something that I talk to my team about. My managers, we talk about making sure that we communicate well and having boundaries. One of the things that I've learned is that being an effective leader and being business oriented, sometimes that means you have to have boundaries and you can't be sweet. So I'll speak from my lens as a female. You want to make sure that you're kind and gentle, but at the same time, you don't want to be taken advantage of. And you really want to make sure that when I'm representing whatever sitting governor we have, currently it's Governor Lombardo, and he's amazing. You want to make sure that the agency is polished. We have good customer service, that we have systems set in place so that people don't complain about our service. And also with vendors, that we create boundaries and that we get stuff done. And so really it's just being efficient. But then when it's time to be nice, you can be nice. We're all human. We can have that moment to be human, and you want people to be who they are and fully present, because when you have diversity in the workplace, Jaime, you really do expose yourself to other viewpoints, and data has shown that if you have a more diverse workforce, your numbers are just better. And that's private sector too. If you have more women on your boards, if you have people from different walks of life, different ethnic groups, you have more of a collective, not saying or negating the presence and importance of current board members anywhere. But the more diversity you have, the data does show that you'll have a more growing and thriving business, and you can reflect the community that you serve. So it's super important in government that we are outwardly facing, looking like the community we serve, so people don't fear government, that they can approach us if they have a problem and not have us come after them in an investigation, or they're afraid to ask for training because they want to avoid us. We really want to be friendly, but, have boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, I was thinking, it is very nice when you can be unguarded and transparent and truthful, in every situation, including work. But that's not easy. It takes building trust and building a culture, if you will, of safety,
Yes.
emotional safety and ethical safety to be able to do that. But that is when the best results happen, I think, whether it's in relationships outside of work or here at work. Here, we're very proud. I think I've shared this with you. We mirror very closely the community we serve. In other words, the ratio of men and women that work for our agency, all the ethnicities and backgrounds and genders and identities.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so we work very hard because, again, as you said, it's not that you're trying to just check a box, it's that you're trying to be intentional and purposeful as you recruit, interview, and select, that, again, you're building a team that reflects those you serve. And so I couldn't agree with you more. Now, again, I get to know you and I see your work firsthand, but as you've accomplished a lot,
Thank you.
a woman head of NERC. I have a young 20-year-old daughter who can look at you and say, wow, how can I aspire to be that kind of leader? And so what would you tell young women? How do they get to be like Kara Jenkins when they grow up?
Wow. Well, that is just such a honor and a compliment, and you're a dear friend. I would say this, and this is what I said. I was actually a guest judge at the Boyd Law School. They're having their moot court auditions, and I was a guest judge, and I like to go and give back to young law students or just young students. And this is what I said to a young girl who did phenomenal in her oral argument presentation. Her opposing counsel was a very strong, amazing first-year litigator, male, and he took up all the space. She was more soft-spoken. And I pulled her aside and I said, he has his style, you have your style. Don't change who you are. Just take up all the space. Come in any space and know that you have a right to be there, that you're qualified to be there, and just take up all the space. People's opinions of you are not your business. You're there to do a job. You're representing a client, go in there and do a job. And you don't have to mirror that energy. You have a different style, be you. So I would tell your young daughter and other young girls, don't be afraid to ask questions, to create boundaries, and take up all the space. And I'm not saying take up all the space, Jaime, in a way that means you're stepping on toes or hurting other people. That's something totally different, and that's not what I'm condoning. I'm saying that don't be afraid to use your voice and speak up. And it takes courage to do that. And sometimes maybe you're not received well, but you learn. You learn from all your mistakes. But I would just say show up in spaces because women voices are very much needed. And when we employ women and empower women, we lift up economies. We do.
And I like how you said the approach there to build self-confidence. I've never heard it expressed that way, but fill your space, take up that whole space is a great way. They use it in sports a lot when you're teaching how to play, defense. They say you might only occupy physically this space, but you're in charge of all this other space that you have to be mentally prepared to occupy if needed. But I love it how it's how you framed it in the sense of self-confidence to say, you own this and you belong here and you've earned it. And while it might look you might have a different style, you're here for a reason.
Yes.
We want your voice.
Yes.
That's really important. How do employers or listeners or viewers, what kind of things can you help them with, and how can they go find your menu of services? How to interact with NERC? Is it our website, social media? Because we're going to put it here on the screen after you tell us.
Thank you. And my lead administrative professional, Coralie Peterson, does this all the time. We take calls coming in, and so we would say we can help you over the phone, or we would like to direct you to our website, which you'll see here. And on the website, you will have an option of what kind of complaint you want to file. We even have a video video, Jaime, of how to file a complaint. And it's very user-friendly. It's done in a cartoon style, so it's not intimidating. We're also available, again, you can walk in. So because we've lifted the COVID restrictions, you can come in and fill out a complaint in our lobby. But most people with discrimination complaints, they like the privacy of doing it from their computer at home or on their phone. And so you can do that.
Awesome.
Through NERC, yes. Mm-hmm.
And for our viewers, as you said on YouTube, we're going to have it on the screen. But those of us on our audio-only platforms, would it be nerc.gov?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Dieter.NERC. Well, how about Google the Nevada Equal Rights Commission? And there's a Dieter handle with NERC in it. And so don't quote me on that. I'm so sorry.
NERC.
Yes, NERC, Nevada Equal Rights Commission.
Yeah,
yes.
I believe that I typed in on a browser, nerc.gov, and it took me right there.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that shout out.
Yeah. Awesome. And so any big things happening before we close the podcast? What is on the calendar for 2023 for NERC? Do you guys have something special coming up?
Well, we're excited. We partner with the EEOC to do virtual brown bag lunches, which is virtually you log into a Zoom, EEOC hosts them, and we have panelists from leaders from the community who have something to say about a particular month that we're highlighting. For African American History Month, we had a great panel, and we're getting ready for May. It's Asian American Pacific Islander Awareness Month, or just celebrating that month for all of our Asian brothers and sisters. And so we're going to have a virtual panel for that. And we're planning something special for Juneteenth. Hopefully you'll be there. It'll be live and in person.
And to find out more, it's in your website.
We're not going to promote it on the website. Just call our office.
Okay.
Yes.
To find out details.
And then we will also have blasts. So if you go to our website and sign up for Outreach Blasts, we will put you on our Outreach Blast sheet, and our team will blast out the invites. And you just log in, and it's free. Again, it's free $99.
Free $99.
You can't beat that.
So go to the website, sign up for the email blast, get all
Yes.
the information, everything happening with NERC.
Yes. And maybe we'll have you on our panel.
Yes, you just tell me where to be and I'll be there.
Did you all hear that, viewers? I'm going to get Jaime Cruz to be on a NERC panel. Yes, locking you in.
All right. I don't know if you want that, but you got it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Kara, thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, we can't wait for you to come back.
Oh, you have me.
Okay.
Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We hope to see you in another one. Until then, stay safe. Kara, thank you for staying over and doing our Boldnick segment called Against the Wall.
No problem.
You ready?
I'm scared.
All right. The first section is called Your Favorites. I'm going to give you categories. You're going to give me your favorite one within that category. Let's start with an easy one. Your favorite color.
Red.
Your favorite food.
Pizza.
Your favorite drink.
Are we talking after 5 or?
Yes, any drink.
Tequila with a splash of pineapple.
Ooh, love it. Favorite movie.
Aaron Brockovich.
Favorite book.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Favorite holiday.
Christmas.
Your favorite day of the week.
Friday.
Now be careful with this one. Your favorite sports team.
The Raiders.
All right, very good. You made it through the first segment. Now the second one's called Tough Choices. Are you ready?
I think so.
Would you rather vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
When you go to your vacation, would you rather drive there or fly there?
Fly there, please.
And once you get there, would you rather stay in a hotel or an Airbnb?
Probably a hotel.
Okay. In the morning, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
After 5, wine or beer?
Coffee. Oh.
No. After 5, wine or beer?
No wine, no beer. Tequila
with a splash and pineapple. Wow. Okay. Now I know. Friday night, rather stay at home and cook at home a nice dinner or go out to eat at a restaurant?
Netflix and chill.
Nice. Owe money or owe a favor?
Oh, a favor because I'm good on all my favors.
And it gets tougher. Actions or words?
Actions.
Justice or grace?
Grace.
Well, you made it through the section called Tough Choices. The final one is called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to give you about 90% of a sentence. You're going to finish it for me. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If Kara could visit any place in the world, it would be...
Africa.
The best part of living in Southern Nevada is...
The people.
Kara's favorite thing about her job is...
The people.
If Kara could travel back in time, she would travel to...
Meet my great-great-grandparents in Louisiana.
Nice. Very nice. 3 words that describe Kara are?
Caring, confident, and loving.
Love it. I agree. Doing the WC podcast today with us today was?
Awesome.
Okay.